Hello, Blue Justin here, still Justin, still not blue. Well, a little bit, maybe a little bit blue, not in the sad sense, but we'll get on to that later. Okay. And yeah, another day, another vlog, and still haven't missed one. I'm doing very well, I think. Yeah, recording late, editing late, getting to bed far too late, all that sort of good stuff. So, what's happened today then? Well, it's been a pretty good day actually. Didn't order anything new, so, especially because I should be receiving the last of my birthday presents on Thursday, so that will mean that I will know my full birthday haul for media, so I won't have the possibility of accidentally buying something that's been bought for me, and it will also mean that I can produce my birthday haul video, hopefully at the same time even as I'm doing the vlogs, because it won't be a very big one this year. So yeah, like I said, what did happen today? Oh gosh, yes, it's been a goodie. It's been very hot still here, and like I said, took in a hot hang around for what I had turn up at the front door. So yeah, and I did, like I said, didn't order anything because I didn't want to have that risk. Didn't watch any more YouTube videos apart from finishing the ones that I'd already started watching, and except non-media related YouTube videos which don't appear here. And I did watch a few more episodes of NCIS New Orleans, and their plots were pretty good, but I think that I've worked out that why I'm not as into it as the original NCIS. To me, it's a little bit too, we are all family, huggy. Nobody seems to have a bad breakup relationship in their past at all, or anything. There's nothing realistic about a lot of the character relationships, about people always getting on even though they would never get on. They all, nobody has a falling out that isn't resolved by the end of the episode, type of thing. So yeah, it's just a bit nicey compared to some of the slightly, especially some compared to, obviously especially compared to some of the British crime dramas that you get, where people, it's much more believable some of the time, and even compared to some of the other American crime dramas that you get, it's bordering towards a little bit too much towards the saccharine compared to the original NCIS for my tastes. But again, it does have some very good episodes, and obviously we'll have a few not so good ones that don't suit me, but that's always going to be the case in syndicated 23 plus episodes per season. So there you go. And so yes, a few more of those. That's all right. So what else can I tell you? Right, first piece of good news. Bad news was that Zavi didn't get back to me when I said, excuse me, you said that all of these would be sent out by the end of play by a certain day. It is beyond that now. Can you tell me please what is going on, and please expedite my order? They didn't reply to that, and I was going to get a bit upset about it, but then I saw that probably the reason they hadn't replied, though I still think it's poor customer service, is that they actually have sent it now. So I'm expecting that either, when am I expecting that? Yes, tomorrow or Thursday. Yeah, so I suspect Thursday, and I'm not really expecting anything tomorrow now because, like I said, didn't order anything. I mean, 1-day delivery from Amazon or anything like that. Nothing's on its way, and so that was the good news from Zavvi. I'm expecting the item that was out over a week ago, last Monday. It should actually be on its way now. Well, they've said it's on its way, so it should be here soon for your delectation and mine. So, yeah, I shall show you that when it turns up. However, also something did turn up, and it's a bit on the hot side. So turn away now if you're too young. Not too young to look at the cover, trust me. So yeah, this is the item that I've been waiting for from Wow HD, the one that got held up a long time because they wouldn't send it out until I sorted out all the back charges which I didn't know about, etc., because Bodyguard had been over enthusiastic. And the arrival today is an anime called Double Disc Delights 3, and where it says I've received one of these Double Disc Delights titles before, it's in my collection, where it says absolutely not for children across the bottom, that doesn't mean it's a bit raunchier than a 12. It means absolutely not for children. Listen to me. Okay, so yeah, this would be at least an 18 in the UK, and sometimes even more than that, because the UK, unlike just about every other country in the world, regards animated characters the same way as it regards real human characters when it comes to I'm trying to think of a better term than romance because it's not. Okay, let's go with erotic. If it goes so erotic that it would get itself an 18. If it was people, it would be the same for animated characters, and I believe that would count to say the same potentially if it would potentially might gain itself an R18. Only sellable in sex shops. So yeah, just beware, not for children, absolutely. This one I specifically picked because I made sure that everything was not only was everything above board, you know, that way, but I'm also sure that Wow HD wouldn't sell it if it was questionable. I'm pretty sure actually they don't sell, I think it's one of the Double Disc Delights ones, and I'm wondering whether or not that is of questionable origin or would be questionable under UK law. But also I know this is made up of 2 discs called Hentai Disc 1 or Hentai Disc 3 or 4 or something like that. And hentai is one of those things that sets off potentially the customs people to start looking more closely at it. Having it called Double Disc Delights actually means that it's probably a lot easier to import because they won't just instantly start looking at it and taking it away. And from not personal experience, but from experience of others with not media related, but other all sorts of imported items. I know that customs and excise are a bit of a law unto themselves and do like confiscating items that they think they don't want to let through, and then leaving it up to you to prove in court that they are legal, rather than them to prove in court that they're not, which is obviously a costly process. And most people just say, oh well, okay, I don't even want it, and because if they fight the court case and they lose, then not only did it cost them the court case, theoretically they could then be charged for trying to import illegal items. If they just let it go and the custom people confiscate it, they can say, well, I didn't realise it was illegal, the customs people confiscated it, there it is, it's gone, so I never touched it, etc. So, well, obviously that doesn't apply to 17 kilos of coke, but something like this could easily, or there's something with the wrong title or some of the wrong cover images, could easily get grabbed by customs, being over enthusiastic. But like I said, I obviously checked all the plot descriptions and what was going on this one, and I specifically chose ones with, of course, sensibly, the whole point not just being to watch erotic material, but stuff with an actual plot. So yeah, it's a bit like some of the titles that have been appearing in HMV recently. I have commented the fact that these titles that are appearing in HMV, I believe a lot of them are Italian films, and they're redubbed. They're in the UK, they're something like 78 minutes long, but if you look it up, the original Italian movie was 200 and something, and all the rest was hardcore material that's been cut out, but there's enough plot there to leave it as a short film that they can sell as a Blu-ray. So yeah, and that is at the lowest in the proportion of plot to sex there is in that sort of movie. I'm reliably informed, so that would be the most plot heavy of them. So yeah, yes. So this double disc delights. This one will have been produced for the American market, despite the fact it's obviously Japanese, because it's anime, it's proper anime. The Japanese have extremely, unusually, they're the ones with some of the ones with extremely strict laws on what you can show on screen, whether it be animated or non-animated, despite the fact that it clashes totally with their real life laws, at least up until last year. But that's another thing I'm going to go into on one of my anime videos, where I've investigated all the different levels of censorship of certain types of anime in different parts of the world and that sort of thing, just as a matter of interest. And that one's coming up at some point in the future. But just as a quick overview, in Japan they're very strict, and anything, shall we say, of the lower half of a person would have to be pixelated out to avoid any detail, and so if this was released in Japan where the original was made, then there would be a lot of pixelation going on, I imagine, but because that wouldn't fly in the rest of the world, the companies actually take the non-pixelated version, press copies outside Japan where the regulations don't apply for, and supply those to the US and European market, not so much the UK because of, like I was mentioning, our laws on treating animated characters the same as non-animated ones, which makes things just extra complicated for them, I think, and they just don't want to go through the BBFC system and risk wasting their money. So yes, these will be non-pixelated for the American market, and that should give you a reason of why it's absolutely not for children. And anyway, yes, so that was it for today, and that will be getting a full better review of which of the stories I liked, which ones I thought were weaker and just relied on the shock value, etc., or erotic value, and which ones used it to best effect. And that might be, if that's quite quick, I might be combining that with my examination of how different countries treat the various different animations all around the world. And like I said, I'm going to go into more detail on that in a totally separate video, but for now I'm going to enjoy this for a little bit of fun sometime when I have time to watch it. The actual stories will only be usually about 20 minutes long or something. They're usually from a short story manga base. So yeah, I think there are eight stories on here, and I cannot remember how long each disc is, but like I said, sometimes it's only about 20 to 30 plus minutes at the most for some of the stories. So yep, it will be interesting, though not necessarily for everybody. However, I shall be back tomorrow, and I hope to see you there. And like I said, not expecting anything to arrive tomorrow, but you never know, surprises happen, it's good. And I might get that Zavi item come through really quickly, or I might get something that I totally forgotten that I've ordered, so you never know. However, also tomorrow is the day I tend to go out in the evening, so I won't have much time to do much watching, so it could be a really short video tomorrow. But then again, that might be useful considering how long it takes me to get these in during a working week and staying up too late, etc. Anyway, enough of my problems, and thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please press like, please press subscribe, and bye.